Good morning!
Good morning.
I am not sick anymore. Well, I'm like almost over my cold. And we're going to New York. And
on Thursday, we're gonna do engagement shoots.
We're doing engagement shoots because we got engaged. Excuse me.
And I get to introduce her to like all my close friends that she hasn't really gotten to hang out with like in depth. She's met them, but like deeply now, which will be really nice.
Yes, so much has happened in the last 3 weeks since being back in Asheville. We did.
Oh, it feels like months.
I know.
Wow.
We did a bunch of recovery stuff, and I'll share all of this in the following sequence of this video. But we did a bunch of recovery stuff, and I went up to Virginia and helped my friend Morgan with her box truck build. Came back. What else happened in that time period?
I know. You came back in time for Halloween. That's what it was.
Yeah, I got back in time. We had a Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
I was secretly planning this entire proposal this whole time and super stressed out about it.
She got sick.
I got sick, yeah. Anyways, we went to the Smokies, and I'll show you that whole story too. It was really great, but now we're going to get the house ready for going to New York. And I'm also gonna do some van build stuff, so we'll save all of that for another video, but this is going to be the summary of the last 3 weeks, and then we'll get into like working on the van and going to New York and frolicking about and the month of November in North Carolina. So yes. Look it!
Yes. Love you.
I love you. The footage you're about to see is what's left of the River Arts District in Asheville after Hurricane Helene. On September 27th, while I was in Maine, the storm made its way through western North Carolina, dumping over 40 trillion gallons of rain. Having been born and raised in Florida, I didn't think much of the storm, but did think North Carolina wouldn't fare well considering it doesn't have the infrastructure to manage big storms. We both had no idea it was going to actually be this bad. If the mountains acted as rooftops, the creeks were the gutter systems. The water rushed downhill, causing mass destruction in its wake. Insane flooding and mudslides destroyed many small towns, highways, and districts. Communications, water, and electricity were completely cut out, and homes were wiped off the map. There were 2 days that went by where I didn't hear from my fiancée, Ligeti, and I was absolutely terrified. I had the van packed and ready to drive south when she finally got signal and called me the morning I was going to leave. What you see here is actually where we would go for the farmer's market, and the building is completely gone. We're just completely in shock that this is an area that we would frequent, and it's just gone. We decided I'd make the drive down from Maine to be there to support. The French Broad River crested at a record of 24.5 feet. I want you to take a second to think about how high that is, and then know that that wasn't even the highest. It crested at 30 feet in Fletcher. Asheville wasn't the only place hit hard. There were so many places that didn't make it on the news who were destroyed, and some likely will never rebuild. What we saw here in the River Arts District was just a small piece of the bigger picture. Each of these towns have their own stories of loss and resilience in the face of this disaster, and seeing the aftermath up close made it clear how much work the community has ahead of them to recover. We knew we had to help out any way we could, so we took to social media, and together, Ligeti and I both raised $6,500 together, not separately. That would have been crazy. I mean, it was still crazy. $6,500 is crazy. So yeah, we went and did a huge Costco haul. Went to Walmart, so we picked up things like feminine hygiene products, baby diapers and formula, camping supplies like tents, heaters, sleeping bags. Oh my gosh, there's so many things that we got. Food, winter coats. We went to the thrift store and we got like super warm winter coats. PPE for cleanup, like masks and gloves, tarps. I mean, literally, we got so much stuff. So it was an amazing experience. being able to do that and bring that in. Water, of course, water, we'll get on that in a second. Being able to bring it to the drop-off sites, and also go to those drop-off sites and pick up supplies and bring them to the outskirt towns. So we were dropping supplies off at specific locations. Those locations were just like hubs for people to just bring all of their stuff, and then they would sort and organize and then send those supplies out to areas in need. We took part in that, which was really neat. Also volunteered to help out with removing drywall from flooded homes, went to Asheville Tool Library and helped sorting supplies, and just using the van as a cargo van. So yeah, it was a incredible, tiring, exhaustive experience, but every small effort felt like a small step towards being able to help rebuild. And it's crazy the amount of work that's still, we're 2 months out, we're 2 months past, what are we, almost 3 months? October, November. We're 2 months past the storm, and there are so many areas that still look exactly the way they did day one. But there's a lot of areas that have been cleaned up. So it's really incredible to see. I am gonna put some links to some organizations that are still just kicking some butt, doing amazing work, that will happily take your money and use it and put it directly into the communities that have been just shattered from this. You can imagine an experience like this can cause burnout, and that definitely happened. I decided to take some self-care time and drove up to Virginia, where a good friend of mine, Morgan, was working on her box truck build. Off-grid electrical and building things, actually problem solving in general, is a big passion of mine. I love combining logic and creativity to create, and this trip was exactly what I needed to fill my cup back up again. We had already worked together building out her electrical cabinet, core system, roof rack, and solar system, but now it was time for wiring, windows, and walls. We kicked some serious butt, starting out with cutting the support beams to make the cuts for the windows, prepping, measuring, cutting the walls, finishing the wire pre-runs, installing the walls, installing the windows. They're Arctic Tern windows, by the way, and they're awesome. I have their sunroof roof hatch on my van, and it's one of my favorite features on the van, so 10 out of 10 recommend. Their customer support is also incredible. I am speaking from firsthand experience on that, and they're just awesome company. So, not paid to say that, I just think they're awesome. Next up was building the kitchen wall with a recessed shelf, finishing the wiring there, mounting a upper cabinet, and hooking up the rear fuse box. Working with Morgan on this was such a great experience. She is such an awesome human, and I know I'm throwing a bunch of plugs in here, but she has an awesome TikTok account you gotta check out. She interviews nomads on what they do for a living, and it's the age-old question, so if you're curious on nomadic living, go check her out. It was then time to make my way back south to North Carolina. Okay, so originally when I was planning this video, I was going to include the engagement at the end, but I think that that's so special that I really just want to create my own video with that. So just stay tuned for our engagement video and our trip to New York. That is going to be the next one coming up. But for now, enjoy our Halloween costumes because we closed out October with a bang. We were Tommy and Grace Shelby from Peaky Blinders. It was something that we wanted to be for a while, and we were super excited. I hope you enjoy this little clip that we recorded for socials. We enjoyed making it, so hope you enjoy too. And I will see you for the next video of our engagement. Bye.
3, 2, 1.